Hi everybody, welcome to week 3 of your EBP course. I'm really looking forward to reading the papers that you're just submitting for week 2 assignment, both of the papers. I have enjoyed emailing and conversing with many of you about your PICO questions. It's been really fun kind of getting to know you guys a little bit better. Just a bit of clarification on your PICO question. Please know that your PICO question may actually evolve, change a little bit as you go through the course. In the upcoming papers, especially for this week, you're going to be really digging into the research and finding out the nitty-gritty about the evidence that's out there about your topic. And you may find that you don't have quite enough evidence as what you thought, especially to support the outcome that you've identified. And maybe you'll need to modify or change what you're going to be measuring. So that's a possibility. You may have started out with kind of a general intervention, and now going forward you'll be able to make it more specific based on the evidence that you find. So those are possibilities. Also, I know that some of you were not able to do your EBP proposal on the area that you were hoping to, related to your work setting, because of some of the criteria for this course. And I feel badly because some of you really wanted to focus on certain areas, but I'm hoping that as you go through this course each week, that you'll gain some really practical experience with the different steps of the EBP proposal process, and that once the course is over and you've graduated also, that you'll have the time to apply those steps to your issue or a problem or new thing at work and be able to go ahead and do that EBP proposal. So hopefully it will be beneficial for you. Okay. So let's look at the discussion questions for this week. Question 1 is covered pretty well in your text. And also, if you look at other sources, you might find a little bit different levels of evidence identified. There's not one like total gold standard. It's kind of generally agreed upon, but sometimes the levels are just a little bit different. And of course, depending on whether you're dealing with qualitative or quantitative sources to address the issue that you're looking at. So in the second discussion question, we're specifically looking at quantitative and not qualitative studies and critical appraisal, right? So I look forward to hearing your opinions, especially about the second part of the discussion question. There truly is no right answer. And remember, some of our discussion questions have one question you need to answer. Some of them have 2 or 3 components, and you need to address all of them in your initial response to the discussion question. All right. So let's get on to this week's assignment. So this week, you're going to be doing section C of your EBP proposal. Okay, so it's the literature report. And first, the assignment that you're submitting this week is a written paper. Now, you're also will be creating a research table that will not be turned in until you submit your final EBP proposal all together at the end. Okay, so you're going to start with your individual reference list initial reference list that you came up with for the section B paper. You had to list initial articles that you had found about research. And you're going to look at those and you're going to analyze each of those studies. As you review each article, you'll be filling in a research evaluation table. Now, an example of a research evaluation table can be found in Appendix C in your EBP textbook. No, there is not there's not like an attachment that you can just upload and use. What you need to do is create an Excel spreadsheet and just use those same headings in the Appendix C table. Just put them into the Excel spreadsheet, and you're going to want to use probably like a 10-point font, and then just make the columns as long as you need to. Just fit it all on one page landscape, okay? When you turn it into me, I can blow it up and read it, no big deal. But you want to try to get it across in landscape one page if you can, and then just make the columns as long as you need to, and wrap your text, okay? You should be able to fill in most of those columns, but some of them might not be applicable to your study, especially if for your topic you have some qualitative studies, descriptive studies. Not every study has like is based on theory or something like that. So, but most of the columns you should be able to fill out for your studies. Okay. So once you complete the research table, then you'll have all the information that you need to write the paper. So a common question that I get is, how many articles do I really need? Okay. Typically, most facilities, you know that we don't just base adoption of a practice on one study, right? So most facilities like to see 4 to 5 studies, directly related, well done studies. That is the goal. If you're having some difficulty with that, let me know, but I would really need to know that you have exhausted all of your search options available. Remember that these articles are actually the research articles. They have population, methods, results, discussion, all those components. They're not just articles about your topic or a quality improvement project related to your topic. They're actual studies that were conducted. Okay? All right. So again, we have a word count, 750 to 1,000 words. In this section, in the written part of the paper, you are telling me about your search method, okay? And you're providing a summary of each study that you're using in your table. And then you're going to provide at the very end a description of the validity of internal and external research regarding your area of practice that you're talking about. How is this achieved in your practice area, in the articles that you saw, and possibly in internal research or internal evidence in a facility? What does that look like for your particular area? Okay, that should actually be the part that you'd devote the least words to. You just 2-3 sentences about it. I don't want a dissertation. I really want you to spend the bulk of your article telling me about the studies that you found and what they mean. Okay. Please read both the directions and the rubric very carefully. This is really the part of the course where you get to see if you truly have enough solid evidence to move forward with your PICO question, right? You may need to pull out your research textbook to identify some of the terms or the terminology in the research articles, or maybe even the terminology in the research table. Either pull it out or pull it up, depending on if you have an e-source or a regular textbook. But once you do determine that you have adequate evidence to move forward, okay, the rest of the papers in this course are dealing with describing the practice change, determining how you're going to prepare for the change, plan how to implement the change, and determine how you will evaluate the outcomes. So everything flows from this research. Okay. This course really pulls together a lot of what you've learned in other courses. It pulls together some leadership pieces, change theory, some financial areas, education. So a lot of things are pulled together, and I think creating that end product can really be satisfying. You can really see how much you have grown over the course of your program. So it's kind of fun for me to see that teaching the course. And of course, as usual, if you have any questions about the assignment, please go ahead and reach out to me. All right, guys, I think that's about it for this week, and I look forward to seeing you in the main forum.